there, and welcome to the locker room. Coach Giggs here, and today's message: persistence. I saw a hand waving. Was that you, Dave?
Yeah,
Dave was waving.
What's up?
In case you haven't noticed, I have Dave Lewis here with me in the locker room. For those of you who know Dave Lewis, you knew it was Dave Lewis. For those of you that don't, this is Dave Lewis. Today's message is about persistence, and I've asked Dave Lewis to join me in the locker room to share with me this particular message and what it means to him and what it's meant to him in his career. Real quick background check. Dave, how long we've been together now?
About 15 years.
15 years. 15 years ago, Dave's wife came to me and said, my husband works on these Navy ships, these big ships, and he repairs radar equipment. So they would fly him onto these Navy ships somewhere out in Egypt, who knows where, someplace, man. You were all over the world.
About Port Elizabeth in Jersey.
Oh, okay. I thought he went Port Elizabeth, not that far. But anyway, his wife told me he wasn't happy and that he loved PCs. At the time, we didn't have computers. Computers didn't even exist. She said he loves computers. I says, what does a computer do? Long story short, I bought my first computer, and Dave helped me to set it up and put, what did we do? We put names and addresses and phone numbers at first, didn't we?
Contacts and basic stuff like that.
Right. I mean, that was wild. I remember, in fact, I remember, Dave, people saying to me, what the heck are you going to do with a computer? I says, I don't know, but it's a new thing and I want to get one. And so Dave is really singularly responsible for helping me to enter the age of computing and to then stay kind of ahead of the curve. There was a time not too long ago where he's been 15 years, like you heard, where home office, our executive home office, would actually reach out to him for answers to problems and situations that had. Have they called you lately, Dave?
Not lately, no. I guess they got it under control.
Son of a guns, they don't appreciate. But in any event, you talk about persistence. This is a man of persistence because we started out with one computer. I don't know how many computers we have now, Dave, that we're...
There's like 50 in-house and, another 50 out in the field.
Out in the field that we remotely, and then not to mention all the offices that over the years we've opened that you've supported. You went into all of Massachusetts, New York, and
tri-state area.
Tri-state area, and we network. Anyway, enough of that. You got a little bit of the backdrop here with Dave. And Dave, would you share with the locker room members what persistence means to you? Because I know in your career with us, you had moments of doubt, I'm sure, like all of us do, but you've persisted, you rose up, you kept getting higher and higher in terms of responsibility, and now, in fact, you're overseeing a dental company that I own as well, doing a fantastic job with it, as well as being our IT director, overseeing all of computing. So what role does persistence play in your life, and how would you share this with the locker room members, Dave?
Persistence plays a major role in my life at all levels. I hear people talk about it professionally in pursuing their career and achieving the success they want. I've used persistence. I continue to use persistence in that role. I use persistence in lower level programming and troubleshooting applications. It's one of my most valuable tools in my tool belt.
In other words, you're sitting here trying to compute and all of that, and you get stuck. You're saying,
right? Many times, yes. And it looks hopeless. I mean, you're sitting with lines of code. Why won't it work? Why won't it work? And you just keep plugging away, and you do it in a relaxed fashion. You try different approaches, but you just keep going. You just keep persisting, and suddenly it happens, and you're there. And it's great to sit back and say, wow, I almost gave up like 3 times. I didn't think it could work, and there it is working. So
I love it.
It's so fulfilling, and thanks to persistence, I've experienced it and used it many times in my life. I continue to rely on persistence almost every day in my career.
Awesome. Dave, I can see you own this persistent thing. I mean, it's who you are. What would you say to those out there in the locker room on how they can become more persistent? Because a lot of people out there, they struggle, they give up maybe too soon. What advice would you give to the locker room members on how they can embody this principle of persistence, Dave?
Just don't give up hope. Don't see it as something that's never going to happen. Don't ever say that it's not going to happen, because it comes at you when you least expect it. You just keep trying, at least just a little bit, a step at a time, baby steps, and you just keep going, and eventually, before you know it, you've accomplished what you want to achieve.
Wow. Wow, good stuff, Dave. Well, there you have it. It couldn't have been better put than by Dave Lewis. I've been dying to get him in this locker room, and we have him in, and this is not the last that you heard of him. By the way, if you saw him looking at his watch, that's because he's being persistent right now, and he needs to go do some work in this office right now. So on that note, Dave, great having you in the locker room. Good to have you here. And those of you out there in the locker room, we'll see you tomorrow. You take care. Bye-bye.
If you know someone you feel has a special story to tell or like to share, please email Eric directly and he will reach out to you and or this individual, even if you think this person is you. And by the way, if you've enjoyed and feel the Daily Locker Room has served as an inspiration in your life, why not share it with a friend by sending them the daily message?